Good evening. Thank you all for joining me tonight in my in my first monetized live stream since August 2022. Wow, hey. Well, I'm going to say first of all before I start this and get into it, I'm going to do an apology to Grumpy Sapper because I honestly did not know that Grumpy Sapper had a live meant to be going out tonight at the same time, and I was so excited about being monetized that I jumped and put everything in motion and started doing things without actually checking. So, Grumpy, I know you're in the chat. I apologize, and it won't happen again. So, there we go. Anyway, good to see people on. It really is. Wow, hey. Lots been happening over the last 24 hours and 36 hours. It's been going really, really well, actually. I thought I'd wear my little Union Jack jacket tonight, you know, as I'm a loyal subject. Well, I was a loyal subject to Her Majesty the Queen, but it's now His Majesty the King, isn't it? And I don't really know yet. I haven't got my head around it if I would be a loyal subject to him. I don't know. Do you know what? Yeah, I suppose I'm meant to be, but in a way, he hasn't proved himself to me yet, if I'm honest. So there we go. But it's great to see a lot of people in the chat. Wonderful. Yeah. I'm here really as well to try and cheer myself up. Yes, now everyone that's my subscribers, I've had quite a few messages today asking me how my friend Graham is. Just want to put that across. I know he's watching, I know he's in the chat. And do you know what? If I'm honest, Graham's one of the toughest guys I've never met yet, but I want to meet very soon. Yeah, I mean, he should have been in the Special Forces, really, with his ironclad fucking attitude. I know. Okay. Yeah, I know. I'm only allowed one F, believe it or not. I've already checked the rules with YouTube. So there we go. Anyway, listen, it's all looking pretty positive. I was looking at things today because I wanted to come on and had a bit of fun tonight, and I invited a few people on and stuff, and a few people said, could they come on? I didn't want it to be saturated with people, but yeah, it's been great. We hit 155. Isn't that crazy that the minute YouTube go, okay, we've checked everything, and they give me a big list of things that I had to tick, and I got remonetized. And then the minute that switch went, I went from 154,500 to 600 to 700, and now I'm going higher and higher. Isn't it weird? So it's quite clear, isn't it? It's quite clear to all YouTubers that if you don't toe the line, they put you on timeout. My timeout lasted nearly 2 years, but I'm here again. A big shout out to all you guys in the chat who have become members of my channel. First time I've had members in 2 years, so it's wonderful. So I am back. I've got plans to do a lot of good stuff on the channel. Tomorrow, before people come on, tomorrow, Foxy, thanks for coming a member. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m, I have Nick Dunn on to have a chat. Nick, elite soldier, was maritime security, and was actually taken prisoner by the Indian Army and placed in an Indian prison for 4 years because they say that he was carrying a weapon to protect the ship in their waters. Clearly he was qualified to do that. So they held him as prisoner, and really he was used as a negotiation bargaining chip for the Indians and the British government. Yeah. Do you know the place where the Prime Minister comes from? Yeah, that place. Yes. But there we go. Hope you're all having a drink. Orange juice tonight. But yeah, hi County, good to see you. Anyway, so I wrote down things to talk about. I wanted to have a bit of a fun one tonight because everything that's happening in the news is so serious. I mean, someone sent me a video earlier about Sir Keir Starmer, who's releasing people. Listen, everything is so negative. Blur, good to see you in the chat. And Ham Shackleton, good to see you. Scotty, Foxy, Rhea Snakespeare. A lot of good people in the chat tonight. So I am really, really humbled in a way. Some good YouTubers. Need to start lifting up some YouTubers, because there's a lot of YouTubers out there that aren't getting enough. And you know what? Mogo, thank you for joining as a member. Yeah, the membership's open. You can join. Yeah, come. I do little private chats in there. But one thing I do see a lot of, and I want to point this out, and I may step on toes on my first live, but I'm going to be honest with you all. It's not nice lifting YouTubers up, and when they get to a certain level, they don't look back and reach down and lift other YouTubers up. They're not my type of people. I'm happy to lift people up. I'm happy to support YouTubers. I'm happy so that there's enough room for us all to succeed on this platform. But I just do not like, what's this? You say hi to all the others. Good evening, Trevor. Yeah, I just don't like it when YouTubers forget where they come from. YouTubers don't reach down and help each other out. There's been quite a few people. Pamela Morrow, thank you for becoming a member. Isn't it weird though? Fiona should be about 50,000 subscribers or more. So should Duchess of North Sussex. I would have grown, but I haven't. But listen, be humble. There's always room for other people to move forward. But we need to start getting around it, because I honestly believe, and I believe this, if you have 5 Trevor Cope memberships, oh wow, thank you. I honestly believe that if me, the Duchess of North Sussex, Fiona, Graham, people, now I'm saying people with over 10,000 subscribers. So those with over 10,000 subscribers, if we get about 10 of us with over 10,000 subscribers and we dedicate a couple of shout outs to another YouTuber, we can lift them up to where we are. And then other YouTubers lift us up. It's teamwork, people. And I don't see enough of it. I don't see enough of it. I see enough of bitchiness and stuff like that, which has become the norm. But I think I do a very good job to ignore it, don't I? There's enough people out there. We have Gertie Root. She's got a good channel. We'd love to see her. Collaboration is the way. Grumpy Sapper, yes, it is. Len, thanks for becoming a member. Ah, wonderful. I think I've got about 5 new members tonight already. I wasn't expecting that, if I'm honest. I just wanted to have a chat and say thank you to everyone who's helped me along the way. The restrictions have been lifted. We can move forward. And I now have to use code words and call signs to disguise a protective couple. I think I am going to stick with, let me know in the comments what you think I should. Will I go back to the old horrid and methane? Will it be the hostage and the handler? Let me know. But it cannot be a word that it can be picked up by an algorithm. Have to use the brain today, don't we? Have to use the brain. Yeah. But I'd like to see Gertie grow. But I would like to see Graham's channel grow. I mean, it's just over 10K. It should be higher. And the Grumpy Snapper's coming up, and Foxy, you're starting to move forward, aren't you? So you're starting to pick up momentum, which is good. So it's all positive. Tonight I tried to find out, I Google things, and I tried to find out how many jokes are there in the world. Believe it or not, no one knows. How many comedians are in the world? Believe it or not, no one knows. But I found something interesting in the UK, if you didn't know this. I tried, now in my head, I knew that Ricky Gervais is the highest grossing British comedian. I know that. But when I went in and asked about British, do you know what they told me? I wrote it down here. Peter Kay, #1. He's the highest earning British comedian. His net worth is 35 million. And I went, well, that's wrong, isn't it? Peter Kay's worth over Ricky Gervais is worth over 150 million. So they were even trying to change that, and I couldn't understand it. But there we go. In the UK, The Guardian, it was The Guardian did the bloody poll, wasn't it? Maybe that's why, because Ricky Gervais talks about everyone and they don't like it, so they put him way down the list, which is a bit shocking. But yeah, and some of the positions of British comedians shocked me. Right, apparently he's not even here anymore. The second most popular comedian in the UK is Ronnie Corbett, and they have Kevin Bridges down at number 56. Kevin Bridges, 56. Jack Whitehall, 43. Russell Howard, 42. Jason Manford, 35. And they have people that are dead, like Kenneth Williams, number 3. I didn't understand it, but it is what it is, people, unfortunately. It is what it is, right? Oh, thank you. Oh, I've got... Thank you very much, Debs. That's a nice little... I wouldn't expect... Isn't it weird? I wasn't expecting any of this, but it is nice. Debs has gifted 5 Trevor Colt MC memberships. I don't even know how that works, but thank you very much for that. Yeah, not bad. Have a drink of orange juice, people. I think I have a guest coming on any minute. Do I? Hopefully. It's very warm here, and I'll tell you why. I've got heaters on in my living room, which I shouldn't normally have on. But this morning when I got up, my water tank the pipe came apart and it had leaked in the ceiling, and the ceiling started to bow. So I've had contractors out to have a look at it. But I waited in all day. I waited in all day, right up until 6 p.m. He came out to look at it and did a complete thing. Goes, well, we need to have heat on it. So I've had the heat on since 6, so it is really warm. I'm a little bit. Can you see? So I'll have it on for a while. I'll go to bed with it on. Hopefully in the morning it'll be a little bit drier, and we can get someone out to have a look at it. You're not going to believe this, people.
Tell me if you can hear this. Hang on.
Yes. Yes.
You can hear me okay?
We can all hear you.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Good. That's enough of that.
Oh, Graham. Good to see it. Mate, I love your background. Your background there looks better than the background I had behind me in real photographs.
Well, you inspired me, Trevor. I can't see with the sunglasses on. I need my glasses. You inspired me with your camel ride. I thought, well, you get all these special forces and crazy people on your channel. So I thought I'll identify as Lawrence of Arabia.
Mate, do you know what? That looks awesome. You said Lawrence of Arabia. That's what stuck in my head when I was in Africa there. That's what stuck in my head. The pictures of the black and white movies and stuff in Lawrence of Arabia, and it played in mind. So I made sure whenever I was out there, I went to visit camels. And I wanted to get on a camel. I wanted to dress like an Arab and go across the desert, the Sahara. I got to do it, but I'm ashamed of myself for doing it because I didn't like how they treated the camels. I mean,
yeah.
There were, for instance, the camel behind me with someone else on it. Its face was right here because it was tied so tight to the camel in front, so that they don't move, and I didn't like it. I would have been happy to donate money to help the upkeep if they were being looked. It didn't look. They were just transport being used, and yeah, I suppose people
that's what they are, though. You know, I've never been on a camel. I was inspired to go to Morocco just for a go on a camel, you know, but I don't think I'll bother.
Yeah. Hi, Debbie. I'm getting lots of new members in tonight, which is unbelievable.
You're doing really well on members. I've got to take this off. It's hot in there.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm pleased. Grumpy Sapper said it is punishable offence to treat a camel badly here. I think it's a punishable offence over there too. But I just think, you know, don't get me wrong. They were fed and stuff. Now there's 2 types of camels. Here we go. You've got ones with 1 hump and ones with 2. The ones with 2, believe it or not, can be used in a hot environment and a cold environment. The ones with 1 humps can be used in a hot environment, and that's where they store their food, in the hump. But the camels that I was on, I mean, the humps weren't that big, which means they had been using it for energy, clearly. But do you know what I don't like? And if there's anybody in here that is a veterinarian or someone that looks after, someone knows how to do it, just because a camel can go a month without food does not mean you don't feed it for 3 weeks. Okay, I mean, a man can go without food and water for, 15, 16 days. It doesn't mean that you don't eat or drink. I mean, it's still terrible to treat things like that.
3 days, isn't it, without water?
Is it without water? I mean, I don't know.
Not sure how long it is without food. You were on the survival course. You should know this.
Mate, I did my jungle course, survival course. Let me get this right. 2002, mate. Mate, and before you start criticizing that I don't know, I've got neurological brain damage. I don't even know where my fucking sugar is.
That's a valid excuse. I can't fault you there. That's a good one. You stick with that one.
I'm gonna dine out in that. I can't remember. Don't know.
They're amazing creatures. They're amazing creatures when you think about it. I mean, they go back to the dawn of time. Camels. The 3 wise men had camels, didn't they? Traipsing across the desert. You know, nothing's changed, has it?
No, no, you're right. They are amazing creatures. And I got to sit on one and go across the desert, I suppose. So
had your pictures taken. So that's
done.
I guess they've always treated them like that. You know, that's just because they're probably quite grumpy and they spit at people, don't they? And they're.
I never. Do you know what? I see it on TV, but I didn't see them do it with me. What I'm going to do is, and I've mentioned to Sebastian about this. I want to take Sebastian to Norway, and I want. It's either Norway or Greenland. I think my dad's probably in the chat. My dad said do Greenland, and I want to take him and I want to spend a week with him in an igloo. I want to go ice fishing. I want to do all that winter stuff. And so we've been to the desert and stuff. I want to take him there and do this here type of stuff. I want him to sort of experience all these things before he gets older, you know. So it's something that.
Well, Fiona's dad always wanted to go to Norway. That was one of his dreams, to go to Norway. And because it's a fabulous place, don't get me wrong. Big fields. And they went on a cruise up one of the fields. And it's the biggest regret in his life. It cost him a fortune. He said everything was seriously expensive. And that's not this in Norway. That's just pointing out that it's a really expensive place because the cost of living is way higher than in our country. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, Christine says, come back to Banff. Banff is beautiful. I mean, I went to 2001. I mean, these are 20 years ago. I went and did an exercise in Canada. And it was bloody freezing, I tell you, in Alberta. And on the prairie in Alberta. And we had adventure training. And we went to Banff. And I went to a place called Canmore and Banff. Absolutely beautiful. The scenery, it was still snowing on the roofs. It was beautiful, mate. And I did a thing called whitewater rafting, which I probably don't ever want to do again, where we had to do this test. But before we get into the whitewater rafting, we did this test where we stood on a rock 20 meters into the water, and we had to put our arms across our chest, and we jumped in. But this is what it did. Where we jumped in, we went underwater, and we got shot up somewhere else down the river. And that was scary, mate. That was really scary.
Yeah. I'd recommend Aviemore. You know, if you want to introduce your son to igloos and things, go and skiing. Go to Aviemore. It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
In the winter, obviously. You know, you can't beat Scotland in the winter.
Mate, I lived in Inverness for 5 years.
I know, in Fort George. You told me.
Mate, that is freezing because every single year, the quartermaster in camp would turn the heating off 2 days earlier, and he would save a lot of money. And what did he get at the end of his time as QM? NBE for saving energy.
Put him on the bonfire.
Well, I mean, it was freezing there because that's like an old, really fort, and when those walls are cold in there, it's really cold, mate.
Well, it's really old. It was built after Culloden, wasn't it? To make sure.
Yeah.
Well, listen. 1746, I think.
I want you to stay, Graham.
What?
Graham, I want you to stay, but I am going to bring someone else in as well.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Caught me off guard. I was just writing a message. I'm in the chat as well. How is everyone? You all good?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Graham. He needs a wig. Let's kick him out. Let's kick him.
Yeah, we're great, Paul. No worries. How are you?
Yeah,
I'm joking.
Seen you in the gym
I'm all
today.
right. I'm all right. I just I didn't realise. I'm just going to bring you in and then you're there, but I'm all good. It's good to be back.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it is good. We haven't. The three of us haven't spoken in a while, but you know what? When we chat, in fact, I was watching your fitness thing today. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, mate. I'm months away from being 50, and in my head, I'm still 12. So I'm going to get down, and I'm going to. This is true. This bookshelf, I can't do it with my feet, but I'll put trainers on, and I'll put my feet below it, and I'll push out 10 sit-ups straight away. Then I'll feel a little bit of toughness at the bottom of my stomach. Then I'll push out another 10. Then I'll do 20, and I'll think, brilliant. Then I'll go to bed, and I'll wake up, and I'll be in agony.
It doesn't get. Do you know what? It don't get any better because I'm still the same, and Mel's like it. Do you know what? Some nights we do that live on a Monday, and we do legs, and we're all up for it, and we're smashing it, and then the next day I'm like, Jesus, I can hardly bloody move.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think Graham doesn't do that much fitness these days, but he looks fit. But his arm. I mean, that's the fittest arm in Europe. That is the fittest arm in Europe.
Keep on it, mate. Keep on it. I keep shooting as well, doing me shooting. So I'm building my muscle up. Okay.
Someone just said to me there, is the tea behind me new? The truth is, it's not. I've had that. Oh, here. So I should get a violin music. In my old home, in my old marriage, my marital home, we used to have it on the wall on the stairs. It would say L for Luba, S for Sebastian, and T for Trevor. And when I left, she gave me the tea back. I've got it here.
And now it's pride of place on the bookshelf. Just the tea on its own.
I need to get a G for Gwen, don't I? And have a G and T. G&T.
Yeah, good idea. And then you can put it next to all your bottles of alcohol you've got on there as well.
I know. Yeah. Do you know what? I got those bottles from where are they? Oh, here.
Drank it all.
No, it's true. I haven't touched them. I would like to touch them, truthfully, but I do not. Spirits don't agree with me. I turn in, honestly, if I took spirits, I turn into an instant dickhead. So there's no point. Just leave it. Know your limits.
You see, I have that problem when I wake up in the morning. That's just kind of that's default.
Oh, Gwen's in the chat. What did she say? He's not allowed to touch it. He's not allowed to touch it. Oh well.
If it was me, I'd drink it all and top it up with tea or something like that and put it back on the shelf and say, Fiona, I haven't touched a drop.
Do you know what? It's funny because I was just having a conversation with Mel over dinner, random things. Was talking about my nan who passed away several years ago, but she used to buy 2 bottles of gin and a bottle of tonic, and she would empty the tonic out the bottle and then fill the tonic bottle up with gin. So everyone thought that she was having gin and tonic when she was actually having double gins. That's what you should be doing.
Yeah. I've heard that one before. People get a bottle of Coca-Cola, pour half of it out, and just fill it with vodka.
Yeah.
And so they're wandering around with a Coca-Cola bottle, but really they're like off the face. You know what I mean?
I can't do that, guys. The truth is,
No.
I can drink Guinness and I can drink beers. The minute I mix my drinks, and I think this is I think this has got a lot to do with a neurological problem that I've got, because when I drink spirits and I mix it, it affects me, and I just turn into a knobhead. So there's no point doing it.
I don't think that you can blame it on the neurological effect. I think everyone who drinks spirits turns into a knobhead. I've yet to meet someone who's stone cold sober after drinking a bottle of Malibu or something, you know. So I've got it.
Point. Fair
I've
point.
got it here. I'm on the top up.
Oh, Matt, go for it. Go for it.
12 quid, mate, here. I bought it last week.
£12.
How much is it in the UK?
mean, I don't know. I can't remember the last time I bought spirits. I get mine given to me, don't I?
I only used to drink it at Christmas, but I thought, fuck it, it's there, it's on the shelf. It's £12. Go for it.
Mel was just saying that we pay 20 quid for a litre in duty free. So on the shelf in the UK, it must be 25.
Wow.
Right, well, that's a litre bottle, but it's duty free in Jib, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So 12 quid, even though 12 quid, it's lasted me a while.
Reminds me, I need to get this out because I don't, well, run live. Now, I know and you know that we're going to have people watching us here that don't like us, but it doesn't matter. But you don't live in Gibraltar, do you? You live in Spain.
Yeah.
I
live outside the front.
Well, I get messages from people who like you, clearly. They don't fancy you, Graham. They're not sick. So what I'm saying is, what...
Oh, you know the fan as well.
What I'm saying is, I'm only joking, Graham, I'm joking. But what I'm saying is, I get messages from people saying to me, speak to Graham and Fiona and find out what it's like to live in Gibraltar. And I told you that the other day. I said, I don't think they've ever lived in Gibraltar. They look out their house and they can see the rock, but
yeah. No, we did.
And they can see what the rock is cooking. But
I mean, it's literally there. I mean, I'm literally looking at the rock now, and it's probably a mile away. But there's a border, a hard EU border between me and the rock. So I'm most definitely in Spain, 100%.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that.
You know,
and Lynn Kirkpatrick says Malibu's £15.
15. I've got £3 off then.
Oh, women are now in the chat saying that they do love you, Graham. There we go, Graham.
Thank you, ladies. I adore you too.
Feeling the love for Graham.
That's one of my subscribers that's got
nothing like love. You know, you need more loving in the world. There's enough of the other.
Well, I know. I was going to say, I was in Gwen's yesterday, and the door knocked, clearly, and I answered the door, and there was a guy there from the country. And he says about trying new milk. We're going to be the new milk deliveries. We're going to start bringing back delivering bottles of milk. And I went, yeah, no dramas. We'll take it. What? We will be delivering produce from the farm, milk, yogurts, all different types of things, ice cream. And I went, brilliant, brilliant. Because Gwen,
do it.
Gwen had messed up that day. And I was angry with her because she said to me, coffee's on. Oh, milk's off. And then later on that evening, the guy knocked on the door and I went, we'll take it. We'll sign us up. So, I mean, isn't that amazing to have milkmen come back? I think it's brilliant.
Yeah. But if they're coming direct from the farm, that's even better.
Yeah.
You know, because the farmers can make some money then, can't they? Where the supermarkets used to crucify all the farmers, didn't they?
Yeah.
They made it so cheap, didn't they? I think that was the thing in the late 90s, early 2000s. Supermarkets were making milk. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying this. They would make losses on their milk because they were making up elsewhere just so they could sell it cheap to get people in. And that's why then they put the milk in the back.
You're right. Yeah, lost leaders. These are still tins of beans for 10p.
Yeah.
And then they just got cleaned out of beans and they said, no, you're bean rationing. Only 4 tins each and things like this. But yeah, lost leaders. That's exactly right, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they would put that stuff at the back of the store. That's why milk's always at the very back, because they know that you've got to go through the rest of the shop to get to it, and you're going to because it's so cheap. It's dirty, really, isn't it?
It is. But that's business, isn't it? You know, that's how it works.
Right. Women in the chat. Graham's married. Leave him alone.
I'm spoken for, I'll tell you. Doesn't stop me from having friends, though.
Have you? What? Sorry, go ahead, Graham.
No, sorry about you.
Oh no, you. You make
no. I insist.
I've been watching Ronaldo. He's broken every record now. He's hit over 50 million subscribers in less than 10 days.
But he's a football superstar. I mean, what do you expect? At least I think he will influence other people to get YouTube accounts, because if they're famous, you know, other people who are famous may have a huge, maybe not as big as him, because that's massive, but you know, even members of the royal family, you know, they could get a YouTube channel. I've said it all along, but if you only got 10,000 subscribers in a week as a member of the royal family. It could be embarrassing, couldn't it? So maybe they don't want to in case they don't get 10 million in the first hour.
Here.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. Yeah, the handler.
I'm not sure. I'm confused.
You stay in confusion, mate. Don't worry yourself about it because it only
I don't know who. I don't know.
Only get load of bother over it.
He must. I don't know, but it sounds like methane. But anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, brilliant! So, I've got a guest coming on the 29th of September. I'm keeping him hidden at the minute. I went to visit him at the start of the year. He lives abroad, but he was Bravo 2-1 in the Gulf War.
Okay.
And
yeah, okay.
So he's never done a podcast ever, and I've convinced him. Not only have I convinced him to do a podcast, I'll be his first one. I've convinced him. I've put him to write his memoirs. So I'm looking forward to that coming out. Taking time.
Yeah.
He's already started writing loads of chapters. He's really, really enthusiastic about it. And he's going to talk about things. He's going to talk about, I don't want to, this is going to be a shock, but he's going to talk about things to do with working in the United Kingdom on operations. And I don't want to say where, but he's the only one that's ever going to talk about it because he was a commander. And
he's got to be careful not to put his foot in it, though, hasn't he? And
well,
stuff that he's not allowed to, you know.
Well, the thing is,
don't be too hard on him.
Oh no! Listen, I will make sure. I would never put someone in jeopardy. We had a long chat today on the phone, and I told him what the topics I would bring up, and he'll answer them his way. If he doesn't want to answer it. And I want to find out about, for instance, some questions which he's never been asked before would be like, how did you prepare for selection? What terrain did you find the best to work in? Questions going along those sort of things. And did you enjoy working alongside celebrities? And today he shut me off when I asked him straight away. He went, no, I never worked with any celebrities, Trevor. He says, my job, I turned down every celebrity. I never did a single job with them. I did look after politicians and senior people in governments around the world, and I can talk about that. He says, but I won't take on celebrities. He says, I can't be dealing with that shit, he said.
How much is he going to be able to talk about the selection process? Because that's interesting.
That's every word. It's every word. He can talk about everything. There's actually a guy at the minute in trouble. I won't say who he is or anything, but he's been doing a lot of stuff on the internet and on podcasts, and he's in trouble for what he's been saying. The one thing that if I wanted someone to talk about selection, I would want him to talk about how he prepared for it, what he found difficult. But what I won't go into is the bit that we know we can't talk about, which is the escape and evasion type of it. What happens there? What happens behind that closed door should always remain behind that closed door, and it shouldn't be in the public domain. So I won't ask him about stuff like that, you know. But
yeah, I think it'll be interesting though to hear, because you see loads of selection process and what goes on, but to hear it from somebody that's never spoke about it, and two that's, you know, from their perspective, I'll find that really interesting.
Did I ever show you? I'm not going to highlight it, but did I ever show you a picture of a fire pit that I was sitting beside?
I mean, I've seen a lot. I couldn't recall it. Maybe
an SAS fire pit.
I saw it.
That's his garden.
Right.
So I think it's going to be great to have him on, and he will lead me on to another guy called Des Powell, who's going to be coming on before Christmas. So I'm trying to build it back up, because I haven't really done any podcasting or things like this in a while, guys. And I enjoy not having notes, just chatting like it's fun, you know. It's just, you get more out of people.
Yeah, do you feel more energized now, Trevor, with kind of it seems like we're moving past what's happened in the last 12, 18 months and 2-3 years for you. Do you feel more energized this week now?
I feel it's one stress gone. I've got a few stresses still on the way. Don't get me wrong. This thing is, I spoke to YouTube this morning, and which, you know what, and it baffles me because the weird thing is, Paul, for 2 years I couldn't get anything out of YouTube. Graham will tell you. I mean, they wouldn't answer my emails. They wouldn't take my requests. It was nothing. I got nothing from them. And then when people started getting in touch, when certain people got involved and went, this has gone on far too long. And I will say thank you to other YouTubers that have helped me massively by helping me with certain things. And I don't want to highlight their names on this chat because I don't want them getting more shit than they already get. So I'm not going to mention them. Let's just leave it. But a lot of YouTubers has helped me. A lot of my subscribers have done brilliant work behind the scenes. The YouTube lawyer came in from someone told him to do it. And so people still report me daily on Twitter. YouTube told me that this morning. But if YouTube are being shown clips that I've done prior than last week, they've all been dealt with. I was demonetized for 2 years for clips and stuff. So there's no point showing them the same stuff because it's been dealt with. It's what I do from here on in, YouTube are interested in. So it's a clean slate. There's been a lot of water under the bridge, should I say, but I'm positive moving forward. I'm still doing things that I'm not going to mention here. I'm still working with certain organizations at the minute to put a stop to this type of online hate, which happens daily. And here we go.
Yeah. Well, online hate's just out there. It's part of it, isn't it? Sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
No. Crack on.
I mean, we've all encountered it, haven't we? All three of us, the same individuals, even. So
yeah,
it's just out there. It's just going to happen. You just got to accept it. You know, as a YouTuber, you're going to get it. You're going to get an element of it. So
yeah,
I think that's something that both of you have really helped, and maybe you don't realise indirectly that both of you and Fiona well really helped me and Mel with that, because we struggled with it. And Trevor, we've had conversations where you've spoke to me and said, just calm down, like get out your van, you're not going anywhere, calm down. Because my reaction is always, right, I need to go fix this, I need to go sort this out, or I can't do this. And I know it got to me and Mel when we saw a video that Fiona had done after everything had happened with your daughter, and it made us, I think, realise that you have just got to deal with it. You've just got to move past, because if you give them people the satisfaction, that gives them the power. All we did was
they live for a reaction. What they want to do is to make you upset and make you angry. And the moment you do that, they've won. They're laughing their head off. Yes, it's like do you remember the phone calls, the silent phone call, the heavy breathers and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You know, they used to get. If you started shouting at them, they'd love it. They'd ring you all the more. And the minute you just went and put the phone down, they just thought, that's no good.
I was going to be sarcastic there and say that was me, but then someone will just cut that and I'll get in trouble. So it wasn't me.
When you were 12 and it cost you 2p in the phone box, isn't it? Ring your geography teacher up, you found the number.
Oh God. Right. So
Mel just literally just said, I used to love a dirty phone call. Now, I don't know if that was making them or receiving them. But...
Keep them chatting. Their phone bill.
Don't ask me. Don't ask me.
I have got a weird sense of humor where I do make fun of certain phone calls. I went through a while. I don't want to talk about what happened, because when I say what was happening, it may happen again, so leave it. But there was a time where I would get calls going about insurance and all. Hi, you don't know my name. They just call and go, hi, we hear you've been involved in an accident. And they're trying to sell me insurance. Well, I have in the past went, why would you call? It only happened last night. I'm still getting over the grief. And they hang up. They go,
yeah. The life insurance ones. I'll tell him I can't have it because I'm dying. It's a bit mean.
If you're talking in the background, they can hear you. You know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we
can.
can. We can.
What's the problem, Mel? Tell us all. We're all ears.
Oh, I don't, no, she's embarrassed now.
Well, you're embarrassed. There's 310 of us listening to you.
Why?
Do you want
I
to
remember getting a phone call once. I remember getting a phone call, someone trying to sell me double glazing. And I said, actually, I'm glad you've rung because I've got a car for sale. I've got a Ford Cortina. It's a really good one. It's only got so many thousand miles. And I did a hard sell on them. And they said, I don't want to buy a car. I said, well, I don't want to buy a double glazing. But you put the phone down, you think a little bit of a victory, and then someone else rings you tomorrow and trying to sell you life insurance, and you think, why have I got a phone? You know, why?
Yeah. And where did they get my number from? What? I don't
Next
put it to
time,
anything.
why are you ringing me? Then BT ring you, don't need to do a survey to find out about the service. You think,
Yeah.
I'm so glad mobile phones come along. I don't even have a phone anymore. I've got a phone line to the house, but I don't have a phone connected to it. It's in the cupboard. I never used it, but it just came with the internet package, you know. I never ever. I don't even know my own number, and I've had it for 10 years.
Do you think anyone does? Do you think anyone has a home phone anymore?
I don't think so.
Welcome, Maureen. Thank you for being a member. Wonderful. It's got a wonderful group. No, I don't know. I don't have a home. I've only got my mobile. That's it.
Yeah, same here. But I've got a landline. That's what I'm saying. I've got a landline to the house because when they came and put the internet router in, it comes with a phone line, doesn't it?
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, I have a phone line. Yeah. Gwen's got a phone line. Oh, Gwen, I forgot to tell you. Your phone rang the other day when you were at work, and I answered it. I apologize. It was the milkman. It was the milkman. Just, yeah. Anyway, it's all sorted.
Oh, dear. No, how life has changed. I mean, you know, phones. I mean, nobody had a phone when I was young. You know, only rich people around us had phones. We didn't have a phone until the 70s, sort of late 70s at that. So anyone I knew in the 60s who had a telephone, they must have been quite rich.
I was born in the 80s, so I don't remember that.
Yeah, fair enough. Did you have a phone when you were growing up?
We did have a phone. We had one that was mounted to the wall. You know, one of the big dial ones. We had that, but it wasn't like it wasn't something that you used habitually. You didn't like order a takeaway or something. You might ring your nan who lived in Cornwall, but it wasn't every day.
Yeah, we had a phone. We had a phone that was on the wall. You dialed it, and we had to have one because my father was a prison officer. He needed one for security. But I can tell you now, Brenda across the street, our next door neighbor Dorian, they came to use the phone, and they would leave down like 20p and 30p a call, and they'd leave money on the side, and they would all use our phone. And my dad got pissed off of it because they would leave the money down for the phone, for the bill, but my mum would spend it, wouldn't you? And then the bill just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Sorry, Mum.
It happens, you know. You should have put a payphone in your house. I said, there you go. I've got no change. Don't worry, I've got the key for the phone. I'll open it and get all the change out for you. How many pounds do you want? There you go.
We had
something like that.
I was a tight bastard, can't you?
We had something like that, actually.
I think payphones were a thing in people's houses at one point, weren't they? You could get a phone. You could put money in.
Yeah. And you had the key as well. You could open them up and take the money out if someone didn't have any change. You know, I had one in the phone club because people were always wanting to use the phone. I said, there you go, mate. Pay phone on the desk.
Do you remember when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire came on?
No.
You don't?
I never watched it.
We would rush to the kitchen and try and get the 4 things answered in a row to see if we could get on the show.
And it cost you like 25 pence or something for the call, to try and get on it.
Fastest fingers first. A, B, C, D. It was just, it was shocking. Ah, Steph, I've got a new member.
You're doing well for members tonight, right?
Steph,
Smashing
thank you
it.
very much for joining the channel. It's amazing. I think I've gained about 5 or 6 tonight, which has been brilliant. 5 or 6 more than I had.
I do remember 50p's in the meter for your electric, and you could get them out. Not that we did, but you could get them out with a coat hanger. So the electric man would come round and open the meter up, and there was no money in it.
Yeah. Well, they come and change your meter if that happens. You had,
Yeah,
you had 2 pins in the padlock, and you could open it, and you could borrow some money, but you had to get it back before the meter man came.
Yeah.
My mum went to court.
Meter man couldn't understand how you managed to get a £5 note through the slot.
It has to go back in. I remember those days. They were fun.
We had a coal bunker in the back garden. A big like a Jesus. Now looking back at it, like a massive asbestos type coal bunker. I used to fill the bucket up and go in and put it in had a coal fire.
Yeah, we did. We had a coal fire that heated the water until the mid-90s.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I used to like the coal fire. It was a filthy thing, but I used to love it. It was that life and soul of the house. And one day my dad changed it, and he put a gas fire in there, which is obviously a lot more nicer, cleaner, cheaper to run, and probably more effective. But it just destroyed the soul of the room. You know what I'm saying? I just really loved the coal fire because it was just so nice.
Especially on a winter's evening when it was cold and snowy outside, and you was in, the fire was roaring, and I used to love that.
And you could stand in front of it warming your backside when it was frozen.
Yeah.
Until your trousers burned. Oh, he's gone.
Oh.
No, he's back.
Oh, what happened there?
I don't know what happened there.
I have no idea. You're back anyway. So there we go. Yeah. Someone asked you about martial arts training. I will talk about that in another video. I don't want to take up the whole conversation. Martial arts is if I'm honest, martial arts is a sport where you have to be dedicated 100%. There's no half-ins or half-outs. If you're half in, you're not going to compete at a level which is worth it. And if you're half in, half out, then you're doing it more as a sport to keep fit. If you want to be competitive, then you've got to be 100% dedicated, basically. And I'm sure you know about that doing the NBA.
Yeah.
I bet Paul's into martial arts, aren't you, Paul?
Well,
I've actually just what guy who is.
I've just I keep using the word retired, but that makes it sound like I was professional. But I've actually just retired from all martial arts because I've got an injury to my back, and I just can't do it anymore. So I'm not doing combat sport anymore. I'm just gonna concentrate on the other gym stuff.
Yeah. Did I just see Fiona popping in? She came to the desert and then left.
She sort of flashed in and out of the desert. Yeah. She's taken the daughter because her friend was over for the couple of days. One of the EasyJet girls got a few days off, and she flew out to be with my daughter.
Oh yeah.
In the house. So they just dropped her off at the plane. She got a jump seat or something.
So they're back now, having done that trip.
No, her friend is, but
all right.
My daughter's here for a bit longer, a week, I think.
All right.
But she stayed in the house and we're on a boat.
What was that someone said there? That is very sad. Martial arts is an adrenaline rush, particularly the sparring. Yes. Listen, that is very sad. Oh, for you, it's sad that you've had to give up a sport because of injury. But I think once you go past 35 and you start moving up the way, injuries are more prone to us all. They certainly are.
Not just that though. My last fight, the last time I competed, it was just an interclub competition, but it was still pretty tough. And I was it was weight categories and not age. So I was in my weight category, under 80 kilos. The two people in my category were 19 and 20 years old. I'm 44. It was hard. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you're paired with someone at that age of the same skill level, their energy levels and their strength is just, you can't keep up with it. And it's just, I would have to put way too much into being able to keep up to what I can for my, for how I am.
You got to change your mental attitude. You got to get wiser and meaner to compensate for it, That's what
I
my
find-
instructor said to me. Yeah,
I-
but any
I
full
find-
contact sport like what you do, you were doing the cage fighting, weren't you? I mean, I've never done full contact, but I mean, that must be really good once you get into it. You know, you can't get better than that, really, can you?
No, the buzz is unbelievable. People go, "Oh, why would you want to do that?" Like, if you haven't had that adrenaline buzz of being in there and just the whole competing thing is just phenomenal. That is what I'm going to miss. I am going to miss that, but you know, I'm going to move towards bodybuilding. I want to try and do a competition before I'm 50. It gives me something. Then again, it's that buzz of competing and being up there. I think that's going to hopefully match it and give me something to focus on, because you've got to have, haven't you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a young man's sport, isn't it? I mean, I did martial arts in my 20s. You know, that was in the 1980s. I enjoyed it. You know, I broke both my thumbs doing blocks, not blocking properly, but you know, they're still not right. But you know, I didn't injure myself other than that. Really, I really enjoyed it. It was good fun. I know Trevor did judo, didn't you, Trevor? And you were.
I did judo, but I was young though when I did that. You know, I was still
Yeah.
high school, but primary school, high school. I got kicked out of my judo club for fighting. Check that out. Yeah, but isn't that true? That's true. True
I've
story.
always found the blocks come in really handy. You know, later in life, you don't forget the blocks, do you? I mean, you can forget a lot of everything else.
Do you know what I think does come in handy is that people will argue with you, people will get aggressive, but people don't like to get physical. So if you know what it's like to be physical, like it's a whole different thing to standing and having an argument to actually being physical. And I think if you can learn that actually being physical it's nothing. I'm quite happy to get physical. It doesn't bother me. I don't want to, I don't like to, but if I have to, I know that I can. And I think that has an advantage to people in life.
It does. I agree with you. But until someone pulls a knife on you.
Yeah,
now,
and then
we've all done the counters to knife attacks and shit like that. But in reality, I'd want to run away. You know, I don't think I'd want to try and take a knife off someone.
No, I'd run away. Definitely.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not really a hero, you know.
And you live another day if you're not. You know, that makes you a hero, because you're a hero then to your family because you've come home.
Tell Mummy not to call me. I'm on the live, please. Call her.
Yeah. I mean, we had this conversation quite recently, didn't we, Fiona, about knife attacks and things. There's a lot of stabbings recently. And, you know, trying to block someone and take a knife off them, that's ridiculous. We did it so many times in martial arts, and the number of times I missed and got stabbed, you know. It was only a wooden knife painted silver anyway, but that's not the point, is it? You know, and that was when I was young and sharp. You know, today I'd just run away. Yeah, so there's a lot of people carrying knives, and they'll pull a knife out as a deterrent to stop them from being attacked. And I think that would work 9 times out of 10 until it goes all pear-shaped, you know what I mean, and tits up, because then you get
Whenever I left frontline soldiering and I went to work, I'll call it rear echelon, why not? In the intelligence exploitation force, we had to train to do a thing called control and restraint, CNR, working in 3-man teams. In case you come up against someone that's violent and stuff, you know, whatever. And it came in handy sometime. Tell you now, there was oh wow, I haven't talked about this before. This is a new topic. So when I was working on, I think it was Herrick 12 or Herrick 15, can't remember. There we go, can't remember. Done that many of them, can't remember. But we were in a facility which held high-value targets, Al-Qaeda and Taliban. And some of them would get really, really violent when you were trying to move them or move them from place to place. And there was times that you'd have to go in, a couple of you would have to go in and physically remove these people to get them ready for court, to take them to Lash Nagar. And some of them people were evil, really evil, man.
Yeah, and they know where to stab you, you know, to cause them maximum damage. You know what I mean? And most people don't know that. I got stabbed at school once, you know, in Liverpool. You know, got stabbed in the hand because I tried to grab the knife and it just stuck in my fucking hand because I was too slow. You know, but
so, me and Mel are both CNR trained. Mel's CNR trained for the psychiatric units that she's worked on. And obviously, 7 years in the prison service was the same. And Do you know what? There was days when I was in the prison service where you could do 30 restraints a day. Like you could do a 15-hour shift and you were just restraining all day, and it just it's draining. But again, it's one of them things that sets you up for life. Of you know what dealing with that level of aggression is like.
Yeah, it's sad
but,
though. Having to do that every day.
A lot of it, is people coming at you with a knife. I mean, they used to make knives out of toothbrushes with a razor blade melted into the handle. And a lot of the time, that when they come at you with that knife, they don't actually want to cut you. They just want to frighten you and get you to do what they want. But of course, if you resist, that's when people start getting cut. And
well, they used to make them with two blades. They would put two razors side by side in the toothbrush because then when they cut you,
stitch it up.
You can't stitch it. Yeah.
Oh,
it was awful.
Yeah.
I've seen some horrendous stuff. Horrendous.
That goes back to the days of the Crays, what they did. You know what I mean, and stuff that they.
Well, we had a guy in Armley prison, and he actually held the bus up that was going to court, and he had a couple of screws with a knife point, to the neck, and everyone got off the bus, and the bus went off on its merry way, and they unlocked everyone, and they were dropping everyone off all around the town. I mean, that was a big thing. I mean, they got loads of bird for that, when they got caught eventually. But what do you do when you're faced with a knife attacker? It's you can't write a book on what to do. It's just
back off.
Best off is to stay alive, isn't it?
Yeah.
And,
you do what they want you to do. That's what you do.
Someone pulls the knife, says, "Give me the money." I'll give him the money.
Yeah.
I'll press the button. Once they've gone.
100%.
But the only way to stop knife crime, I was saying this to Fiona the other day. People carrying knives. I think there's only the police that can stop and search people. It's down to them. Nobody else can do that. If they had more teams stopping and searching people, and if you found with a blade over, I don't know what the legal length is, but 3 months in jail, bang, straight away. Police cells, magistrates, 3 months. You don't need long sentences, and you pointed this out the other day. I don't think long sentences work. I think short sentences will be far more effective.
I think, because I used it, under the Terrorism Act, grants powers to British forces to do stop and searches. So they can do it in the UK.
They probably could. But if you had a transit van, for example, with no windows and it was plain, and then you saw a crowd of people you wanted to search, like a load of youths, shall we say, and then you pull up alongside, the door opens, and a load of policemen in uniform jump out against the wall. We've got to stop and search you for knives. Most people who are not carrying knives are not going to care. They're going to go, "Oh, okay, yeah, I haven't got a knife. Done. Okay, you can go." But then if they continue to look at the Notting Hill Carnival, I mean, people go in there for a good time and people are getting stabbed. I mean, what's that? Why are so many people carrying knives? And there's a lot of people carrying them to protect themselves, and that's not a good thing.
You must be reading my mind, Graham. Literally just I was reading these statistics earlier, and the Notting Hill Carnival, like the stabbings, the amount is just ridiculous. So last year there was 10 stabbings at one carnival, and there was 308 arrests. I mean, it's craziness.
Well, first of all, carrying a knife to protect yourself is a stupid thing. If you're carrying a knife, you're going to use it. It's not you only carry a knife if you intend to use it. You don't carry it for protection. I mean, I think that the punishment for knife crime is so weak in the UK that people are going to do it. It's quite sad, but I'm looking at things happening now, and I'm seeing. I don't want to mention the words. I'm only just back on YouTube, but people that carried out things beginning R towards females, they're being released early from prison to make room for people that threw stones at police. The whole system in the UK is messed up at the minute, and it's
I mean, each case is different. You can't generalize. I know Paul knows what I'm talking about. You've got people who every single case is different. That's why I don't agree with the death penalty, because at one point, anyone convicted of murder got hanged, and that's not right. that's not right, because there are so many different. Every single murder case is different, and there's like 20% of people in British prisons are in for life, and they're all different. But you have got some genuinely evil, horrible bastards who should hang. But you can't just generalize. You know, you can't generalize and make a sweeping rule, because it's not going to work.
Surely you can generalize. It doesn't matter why someone did something. It doesn't matter what they happen. You can generalize to say that you took someone's life.
Yeah.
Have you been right? First of all, today was your day. I don't really trust the DNA because people can plant things and stuff. So I get that, but
But there's
photographic evidence. Is there CCTV? Is there photographic evidence? Where are you seen? Did you do it? Have you been caught? Yes, murder. Boom.
I knew a guy who had an argument with his wife, and he grabbed her around the throat and banged her against the wall, and he was shouting at her and banging her against the wall, and she just dropped dead. And he's like, shit. And he's trying to revive her, and he's calling the ambulance, and anyway, they charged him with murder because he killed her. You know, and that's not the same as abducting a woman off the street like that Wayne Couzens.
Yeah.
I'm a police officer, you're under arrest for being out after curfew, you know, and strangling her and raping her and cutting the body up into. There's a massive difference between those two cases I've just used as an example.
And
you know, one does the gallows and the other one doesn't. He fucked up, and yes, he's guilty of murder. So
if you look at the amount of people that are in British prisons as well and the crimes that they're committing, my block cleaner, so the cleaner in the SEG when I was in the prison service was in for murder. He murdered his girlfriend. It was drug induced. He had taken him and his girlfriend had taken loads of drugs. He stabbed her in the middle of the night under this psychosis. She was dead. He's killed someone. It's horrendous. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, whatever. That happened.
Yeah.
But then there is some people who have been career criminals for 30 years, and they have made their life's work is to ruin other people's lives. They've probably ruined thousands of lives. So who's worse, the person who took one life, or the one that's made a whole career out of ruining thousands of lives?
Exactly. You know, they're all different. They're all different. You know, and a lot of cases, people who get convicted of murder, they didn't actually mean to kill the person, but they killed them by accident, and it's still murder. You know, and you think, well, you got to look at the motivation. Well, and some people go out there to murder people, like Jack the Ripper. What was he called? Oh, the guy with the beard.
Oh, Sutcliffe.
Sutcliffe, yeah. I mean, he horrible. He obviously went out there to murder people. That was his intention. But most murderers are in jail today. Probably that wasn't their intention, but they finished up in that situation. You know, you have a fight with someone over a piece of shit or something like that, and then one of them falls back and bangs his head in the corner of the skip, and that's it. You're lifed up for murder. And you think, well, I was fighting. I didn't know he was going to bang his head in the fucking skip. You know, but that's where you finish up, isn't it?
You'd be amazed how many of them I knew in prison who were in for serious assaults because they'd never done anything in their life. They got drunk, got in a fight, seriously hurt somebody, and suddenly they're doing 7 years for GBH or ABH.
Yeah. Well, unless you're used to fighting all the time, I mean, how hard you hit someone with a stick, you know what I mean? You don't know how much damage you're going to cause with that stick, you know?
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to kill him. I just wanted to bash him on the head and make him run away. Oh, but he's dead now. You think, shit. You know,
I knew a guy who was in a bar. Last story, I promise. I knew a guy who was in a bar, and someone threw a glass, and it missed the person it intended to hit and hit this guy's girlfriend. So he picked up a bottle and smashed a bottle over his head, and he got 5.5 years for assault with a deadly weapon. And it was just one flash rage. It could have been any of us that had done that. I'm not saying that that's what we're capable of, but you don't know when you've had a few drinks. We were saying earlier, you have a few drinks, you're always in control. You make one stupid decision, and that's your whole life over.
Well, I know. We all know what we're capable of, though. So I try and avoid type of situations like that. I don't want to be in those type of situations. That's
well, listen, guys. Dark, haven't we? Got a bit dark.
I know.
Let's lighten it
up.
Well,
listen, guys. We've done over an hour, so I'm going to knock it on the head for my first live. I'm going to say thanks to two of you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks to everyone in the chat, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks to lots of YouTubers, and really thank you for that. I'm going to go and
Have a drink, Trevor.
I'm
I
honoured
don't-
to. I'm honoured to have been here for the first one back of this new era, and it's great to catch up again with both of you. Graham, we really need to sort something out because we can have some great conversations. But thank you for having me on. I
Well,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
Cheers.
Thanks,
yeah.
guys. Well, listen, I'll lock us all out now. So see you later, buddy. See you later, Hutch. Bye. Oh, how did I do it? Right, Graham. See you later, buddy.
See you
How
later,
did I
mate.
get you out? See you later, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Well, thank you all for coming on tonight, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you in the chat. I do appreciate it. Thanks to the moderators. Awesome. Gwen, my chief moderator, thank you for that. And tomorrow night I'll be on at 7. Be speaking to Nick Dunn. Looking forward to that. And thanks to all my new members. So listen, take care, everyone, and stay safe.